So, hi everyone. Just wait for 3 minutes. Let's see, is there anyone or about to join?
Everybody can kindly turn your video on so that it would be better for live streaming.
So, Ashok, we'll start here. If anyone wants to join, means maybe they can join in between also. So, what do you think about it?
Yeah, okay, we will wait for 1 more minute.
Okay.
Participants, if you haven't turned your video camera on, kindly turn it on.
Yeah, it will be more interactive. So, here are all the faces of this show. Maybe you can turn on all of your videos, maybe. So, Augustine and Tarun, Susmita, Priya. So, could you guys please turn on your video? Or let us know if you face any difficulties in the chat box also. Maybe any network issue or whatever it may be.
So, Kalevani, I think we can start now.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone present who are all make this show here. So we are from Zero Pro community. The community started in the motto of to the people who are in the early stages of life. So for them, this community started, and here recently we got interested in reading books, and we also found people who are maybe engaged their time in reading books in this lockdown, and that's why we created sudden a thought to make a show on this. So maybe reading books are so special, and presenting the content that are inspired from the books to letting know every one of you here is something special. So in this motto we started this the book show. So let us know, and we are also very excited, and yeah, let's see. So we are very much excited, and let's see how this show goes on, and maybe the audience and all the narrators are excited. And this continued by Ashok. Maybe Ashok, you can call upon one on the one narrators who are all currently present here, and let's the show begin.
Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. This is Arshak from Zero Pro. From Zero Pro, I kindly welcome you all to the book show. So, hope this event would be useful and interactive as we all wish. Zero Pro, as Kalevani said, it's a building students community. So, with lot of enthusiasts who wish to build their career in what ways they can. So, first of all, I will give the small like rules rule. So, all the audiences are requested to keep your microphone muted when the narrator narrates, so that there won't be any disturbance for them. So, narrator can like present your screen if you want to. You just have to ask them. We will give you permission, and you can present your screen. And when the narrator finishes, audience can shoot your questions. Whatever questions you have, you can shoot to the narrators. And then if there are any points you want to add to the narrator's points or anything you wish to share with us, you can kindly come forward. So I think before starting, let us have a quick intro about everyone. So what do you feel, Kalevani? So you call
Yeah,
upon individual's name and have their name and where they are coming from, so that everyone knows that. And when it's as also it is streaming on YouTube, guys. So be energetic, and maybe you can see after this meeting your. So Kalevani, you can call upon individuals' names and ask them to intro, because I
uh,
can't see everyone's.
okay. So let's go with Ashwin Kumar K.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah,
This is
so
Ashwin from Chidambaram.
good to hear. Hi,
Yeah,
Ashwin.
first, thank you.
So next, maybe one by one, you guys can come up and give your intro, like your name and where are you from, and so what excites you to this show, and what's your basic interest, kind of things. Maybe a short intro, one less than 1 minute. So next, Komagan and be coming up with yeah, Komagan, you can.
Uh, Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you are all good and safe during this pandemic period. I'm really excited about this book show. As a part of interesting, I'm narrating a small, common story. Everyone knows that Aladdin, Disney's Aladdin.
Okay.
That's it.
So great, Komagan. Welcome to the book show.
Actually, I'm fan of that
So
movie. Maybe a few 2 years back only I
Yeah,
saw that movie. Pity me.
okay.
yeah.
So let's have Augustine Woods. Augustine Woods. Okay. So Fauzul
Sir,
Hidayah.
I am
Can we have?
Jesu.
Okay, okay, yeah. Hello, sir, Augustine.
Good afternoon to everyone. I am Jesu. Now I am in Ghana. I am interested to read successful people's biography.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am basically from Palangotai.
Palayam Kote. Hello, sir. Great to have you here. So
Yes.
hope you enjoy the show.
Thanks for coming.
So
Okay, thank you.
yeah. So next, can we have an intro about Fawzul Hidayah?
Good evening, everyone. I am Fawzul Hidayah. I am from 12th standard, and I am stayed at Tirunelveli.
Okay.
Great.
So hello Fawzul, welcome to the book show. So next I call upon Harish to give you a small intro.
Yes. Hello, yes.
Yeah, Harish, we can
Yeah,
hear
Harish.
you.
Yes. Just now I got the link from my friend.
Okay.
That's why I joined. I don't know anything about it. But my friend said that it is interesting. That's why I joined.
Okay, Harish. Okay. Glad to have you here. I hope you enjoy the show. So next I call upon Karthik Soumya.
Good evening to one and all present here. I am Karthik Soumya. Yes. First of all, my hearty wishes to my friends Arshak and Kalai for this great initiative. Keeping the people engaged in this time of lockdown is a great thought. And I wish you people all success for all your future plans that you have in your mind. All the best, guys.
Thank you,
Thank-
Karthik Soumya.
Means a lot.
Yeah. So next I call upon Lakshmi Kantan to give a small intro.
Good evening, everyone. I am Lakshmi Andan from Annur. I am pursuing BTech Computer Science and Business System in Banariaman Institute of Technology. So that was about me.
Okay, Lakshmi Kantan. So we are waiting for your narration. So next I call upon Megha Hanumante.
Good evening, sir, and good evening, ma'am. Myself, Megha Hanumante. I'm pursuing a B final year in ETC branch from Cummins College of Nagpur. Thank you so much.
Nagpur. Yeah, welcome, Megha. So
Thank you, sir.
next, can we have a small intro of Naveen Varadaraj?
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm Naveen. I'm from Annur. I'm interested in reading book, but I want to know about the impact of reading books. So I joined the session. Thank you for.
Yeah, welcome, Naveen. I hope you will get what you wish to join here. So next, I call upon Priya Narayanan for her small intro. Priya Narayanan, are you in the meeting? We would like to hear the small intro about yourself.
So maybe Ashik, let's go with Rakshana.
Yeah, okay. So hello, Rakshana. So please come forward to give a small intro.
Hi, Rakshana.
Yeah, I hope you all can hear me.
Yes, very much audible.
Okay, fine. So I'm Rakshana and I'm doing my final SS in College of Engineering and I'm from Chennai. So I'm someone who always loves reading books and I believe that I'm a good narrator and I guess I'll know that very soon today. So I understand that there are a lot of people from the other states as well. So, but my story is going to be in Tamil. After explaining, I'll try to summarize the entire story in a minute or so. So I'm glad that I joined this event today.
Yeah,
Incredible.
that would
Thank
be
you.
great, Rakshana. Thank you so much. Yeah. So next I call upon Shalini. Yes.
Hi guys, this is Shalini from Dharmapuri. I have one thought. Instead of spending more time on social medias, we have the habit of reading books because it helps us in future and help us to develop our knowledge. That's all.
Yeah. So thank you, Shalini. Thank you for sharing your thought. So hope you enjoy the event. So I next call upon Sushmita S for her small intro.
Hello everyone, my name is Sushmita. I am from Pudukkottai. I am studying BE Electronics Communication Engineering in Government College of Engineering, Srirangam.
So hello Sushmita, welcome to the book show. So next I call upon Tarun and for his small intro.
Hello everyone, this is Tarun N from Metupalayam. and I am currently pursuing ECE in Banariaman Institute of Technology, which is at Satyamangalam, and that's about me.
Welcome, Tarun. Welcome to the book show. So next, I call upon BD's Creative. I don't. Can I know your name? It's the meetings.
Tanishka.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Daniksha. Yeah.
A warm evening to all. Hope you all are safe and good. Myself, I am BD Daniksha. I am currently doing my grade 10 in Erode district.
Welcome, Daniksha. That's a great intro.
So it's
So
good.
next, I would call upon Mandan. I can't see Mandan Patel. Can we have your intro, Mandan Patel? Okay. So he has given his intro in the chat. So Mandan from Mumbai. So welcome, Mandan. So that's all about the small intro about everyone. So I hope I haven't missed anyone. Gayatri Ranganathan. Yeah, I think Gayatri hasn't given. So hello, Gayatri.
Hi,
Yeah.
myself Gayatri from Government College of Technology. I'm currently pursuing my triple E first year and very much interested to participate in this show. This was my first narration competition and
Okay.
thank you all.
Okay, Gayatri. So we would love to hear your narration. So actually, most of the participants having turned your camera on, kindly turn on your camera so that we can all see you because we are due to COVID. Everyone is in their home, so we can't socialize offline. So this is how we can socialize. And so here we can see students from school students to undergraduates to working professionals. Everyone is here in this session. So hope that this would be a great networking session also. Yes, Kalevani, you can tell your point.
Yeah, Ashok, I think someone, Srija Srinivasan is yet to give her intro, I think so.
Okay.
Srija
Srija,
Srinivasan?
can you give? Yeah. Okay. Can Harish and Komagan mute yourself, please, because there is some noise from you.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Thank you. So Shrikant has also having given intro ed. So Shrikant, can you come forward and give your small intro? What's your name? Where are you from? And your interest.
Yeah, I think you're asking me, right?
Yeah. You're. Yeah, Shrikant.
Okay, so hi, I'm Shrikant. I'm currently working for software engineer. So I was little interested in
Can you please come again now?
fantasy kind of
Thank
stories.
you.
Didn't read much books, but I have read a couple of love story books, but not on the fantasy. But I was little interested. Right now, I didn't think to any much book.
That's
But I
great
want to
because
listen some stories.
yeah, that's great, Shrikant. Because I am also sailing the same boat with you. I have also read some love stories only. So hope this session inspires everyone to read more and more books and share your thoughts in the coming sessions and coming book shows. So I think Kalevani, we can start the session, right?
Yes, maybe you can call upon the first narrator.
So the first narrator I would like to call is Komagan. So Komagan wish to present the screen also. So hello,
Yeah.
Komagan. Yeah, you can come forward.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. Today I'm going to tell a story that common known Aladdin. Okay. First of all, I'll start. On a dark night in a faraway land, a evil man named Jafar and his big wicked parrot were waiting. Soon a thief named Ghasim rode up to them. and held out the missing half of a scarab medallion. When Jafar put the two halves together, thunder rumbled. In a flash of lightning, the medallion raced across the desert. Jafar and the thief followed the medallion to the caves of wonders. Gazin, bring the magic lamp, Jafar ordered. But the thief didn't make it beyond the opening of the cave. The tiger god of the cave devoured him. Tiger's god spoke. Only one who is worthy may enter here. The next morning, a poor, hungry man named Aladdin and his pet monkey Abu were sitting on a rooftop. They were looking down on the marketplace of Agrabah. Suddenly, Aladdin noticed a lovely woman. She seemed lost. She took an apple from a vendor's cart when the angry vendor demanded payment, which the young woman didn't have. Aladdin and Abu rushed down to help her. Thank you, kind sir, Aladdin said to the vendor. Thank you for finding my sister. He quickly led the young woman away. This is your time in the marketplace, isn't it? Asked Aladdin. I'm running away. The young woman explained. My father is trying to force me to get married. Suddenly, the palace guards appeared and arrested Aladdin. When the young woman demanded that they release Aladdin, then the guards found that she was Princess Jasmine, the Sultan's daughter. The guard explained to her that Jafar and his father's advisor had ordered Aladdin's capture. Princess Jasmine returned to the palace and offered Jafar to release Aladdin. Jafar told her that the young man had been killed, but Aladdin was not dead. Jafar was keeping him alive because he had learned that Aladdin was the only person worthy to enter the caves of wonders. It was Aladdin who could bring the magic lamp to Jafar. Then at last, Jafar would use it to become Sultan. Disguised as an old man, Jafar took Aladdin to the cave of wonders. The sleeping tiger god awoke. Proceed, he said. Touch nothing but the lamp. Aladdin and Abu gasped as they saw all the gold and jewels in the cavern. Don't touch anything, Abu, Aladdin warned. Then, just as Aladdin found the magic lamp and scooped it up, Abu touched a huge glittering jewel. With a loud rumble, the cave began to collapse. Frantic, Aladdin and Abu scrambled back towards the entrance, where Jafar was sitting. Help me, shouted Aladdin, but Jafar refused, and Aladdin and Abu tumbled back down into the dark cavern. Aladdin feared they were trapped forward, but Abu still had the lamp. Aladdin took the old lamp and tried to rub off some of the dust. Poof! In a flash of colorful, swirling smoke, a gigantic genie appeared. Say, you don't look like my lost master, he said to Aladdin. But you still have 3 wishes, and no wishing for more wishes. Aladdin was stunned. 3 wishes. He intended to make good use of them. But first, he tricked the genie into whisking them out of the cave on a magic carpet. Unsure of what to wish for first, Aladdin asked the genie what he would wish for. Surprised at the question, the genie replied, I would wish for freedom. So Aladdin promised to use his third wish to set the genie free. But his first wish was to be prince, so that he could marry Princess Jasmine.
Komagan, sorry for the interruption.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes, yeah.
so because while presenting you couldn't see the chat, a little bit your voice is breaking somewhere. There is some noise. Maybe it is with your earphone. I guess so. If possible, just check
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Okay.
Yeah, now it's
Yes,
better actually. Little
Oh,
bit distraction and okay.
not
Yeah,
repetitive.
ah,
yeah, Komal,
okay,
proceed.
okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. At the same time, in the palace of Agrabah, Jafar had used his serpent staff to hypnotize the Sultan. The poor Sultan was about to agree that Jafar could marry Jasmine. Suddenly, they heard the sounds of a parade. The spell was broken, and the Sultan rushed to the balcony in time to see the arrival of a grand prince. It was Aladdin. The genie had granted the young man's first wish. Aladdin entered the throne room. Your Majesty, he said, bowing to the Sultan, I am Prince Ali Baba. I have come to seek your daughter's hand in marriage. The Sultan was thrilled. The law stated that Jasmine must marry a prince before her next birthday, which was only few days away. But the princess didn't want to marry Prince Ali. She was not in love with him. Prince Ali offered the princess a ride on his magic carpet, hoping to win her love. During the magical journey, Princess Jasmine realized that Prince Ali was the young man who had rescued her in the marketplace. That starry night, Aladdin and Princess Jasmine fell in love. But later that night, Jafar had Prince Ali captured and thrown into the sea. He was making sure Ali would not marry Jasmine and foil Jafar's own evil plans. Luckily, Aladdin had the magic lamp with him. He summoned the genie and asked for his second wish to save his life. The genie quickly transported Aladdin back to the palace in Agrabah. Now that place was out of the way. Jafar was determined to marry Princess Jasmine. I will never marry you, Jafar, cried Jasmine. Papa, I choose Prince Ali. But once again, the Prince Sultan was under Jafar's spell, and he ordered his daughter to marry Jafar. The princess was suspicious. Papa, what's wrong with you? She asked. Suddenly, Aladdin burst into the throne room and smashed Jafar's serpent staff. He's been controlling with you this, Your Highness, said Aladdin. Immediately, the spell was broken. Traitor, shouted the Sultan. Guards, arrest Jafar. But before the guard could capture him, Jafar escaped to his secret laboratory. Despite his hasty exit, Jafar had seen that Prince Ali was carrying the magic lamp. Prince Ali was really Aladdin. Jafar ordered Lago, his parrot, to steal the lamp. When Lago returned, Jafar made the genie appear. I wish to be Sultan, he demanded. The moment had come for the Sultan to announce the wedding of Princess Jasmine and Prince Ali Baba. A cheering crowd had gathered in front of the palace. Suddenly, Jafar appeared in Sultan's robes. The crowd gasped. Genie, what have you done? Aladdin shouted. Sorry, kid, said the genie sadly. I have got a new master now. Then Jafar made his second wish. He wanted to be the most powerful sorcerer in the world. Jafar, the sorcerer, lost no time running Princess Ali back to Aladdin. Jasmine couldn't believe her eyes. Jasmine, I'm sorry, cried Aladdin. I'm not a prince. I can't marry you. Finally, Jafar banished Aladdin to the ends of the earth. When Jafar found himself a million miles from nowhere, he was glad that Abu and the magic carpet were still with him. Back to Agrabah, he shouted to the carpet, as fast as you can. Jafar was in the palace throne room, enjoying his newfound power when Aladdin appeared. How many times do I have to destroy you, boy? He roared. You cowardly snake, Aladdin snapped. Oh, snap. Cowardly snack, shouted Jafar with a loud hiss. He turned himself into a giant cobra. Without the genie boy, you are nothing, said the Jafar, laughing. Looking up, the powerful, hungry Jafar, Aladdin got an idea. The genie has more power than you will ever have, he said. Yes, hissed Jafar. You are right. I am ready to make my third wish. I wish to be a genie. The moment Jafar turned into a genie, Aladdin smiled. Jafar had forgotten that the genie must live in a lamp. He and Lago disappeared into their own magic lamp. The Sultan was overjoyed. That very day, he changed the law so that Jasmine could marry the man so he chose, and she chose Aladdin. And what did Aladdin do with his third wish? He kept his promise and wished for the genie's freedom. Look out, well, exclaimed the genie. Here I am free. The end of the story. Hello everyone.
Yeah, Komagan.
Yes, Komagan.
Thank you for giving this opportunity. I'm really happy about it.
It's a nice presentation actually, and you tell us actually the very big long story with the help of graphical representation in a few minutes. And maybe, so can you tell us what is the gist of the story in a short line? So what we people can take from this story if you feel like.
Always be good and choose good. Don't be evil. If you got a wish, use it in a brighter and
wise way.
Nice way. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Komagan. It's really a good one. And
yeah, thanks.
Other audience, do you want to add something or want to tell anything to Komagan's narration? So Karthik Soumya said it's a good one and good start, obviously. And Meha told it's a nice story for everyone, not only for kids, and it will be an interesting story for everyone.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you.
So Shalini told it's a great work.
Thank you, Shalini.
Thanks, Komagan. It's a we felt it's since it's Aladdin, it will be suitable for every kids and obviously for elder people also, and for adults, everyone. So it is a wise choice to make it as a good start, and you made it. Thanks, Komagan.
Yeah, thank you everyone. I somehow do somewhat good. I am not better somewhat. Okay, thank you for listening to my story. Thank you everyone.
Yeah, I think your microphone is somewhat disturbing. That we cannot hear you properly. So that is the only one lag we found.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So Ashok.
Yeah. So we can call upon the next narrator. So I would like to call Rakshana for her narration. So hello, Rakshana. You can. Stage is all yours.
Hello everybody. Before starting, I would like to request you all that I have a problem with my network. So at times I might get lost. So I would like to turn off my camera so that my my narration is not interrupted.
Yeah, sure. Okay, Rakshana. You can go ahead.
Also, is my voice clear?
Yeah, your voice is audible now. Clear.
So maybe if possible, you could try by turn on your video also. If we found interruption, the next second maybe you can turn off if possible, if you feel good.
Actually, when I had turned on my camera, I had so many interruptions. I couldn't listen to all of you, so that's why I turned off.
Okay, Rakshana, that is fine then.
I don't want my start. I don't want to start off with interruptions. That's why.
Okay.
After finishing, I'll turn on my camera. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I hope இங்க நிறைய பேருக்கு தமிழ் தெரியும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். நான் இப்ப சொல்ல போறது வந்து ஒரு ஷார்ட் சம்மரி. நான் எடுத்துக்கொண்டுள்ளது ஒரு நாவல், ஒரு சரித்திர நாவல், பொன்னியின் செல்வன் அப்படிங்கிறது. கல்கி கிருஷ்ணமூர்த்தி அப்படிங்கிறவர் கல்கி அப்படிங்கிற இதழ்ல சுமார் 3.5 வருட காலமா எழுதிய ஒரு தொடர்கதை. 1950களில், அதாவது 1950s எழுதப்பட்ட ஒரு ஸ்டோரி. 2210 பக்கங்கள், அதாவது 2210 பேஜஸ் கொண்ட ஒரு புத்தகம். நான் இந்த லாக்டவுன்ல சமீபமா படிச்சு முடிச்ச புத்தகம் இதுதான். அண்ட் இத்தனை நாட்களா புத்தகத்தை வீட்லயே வச்சுட்டு படிக்கலையே அப்படின்னு என்ன ரொம்ப பாதித்த ஒரு புத்தகம். சோ பிறந்தவுடன் அருள்மொழிவர்மன் அப்படின்னு பெயர் சூடப்பட்டு நாடு நகரம் எல்லாம் கொண்டாடிய ஒரு சோழ சக்கரவர்த்தி. தஞ்சையில பார்த்தோன்னே ஆஹா அப்படின்னு சொல்ற அளவுக்கு காவிரி ஆறு ஓரமா உலக பாரம்பரிய சின்னமா திகழற பிரகதீஸ்வரர் திருக்கோயில நமக்கு கொடுத்த ராஜராஜ சோழன் அப்படிங்கிற சக்கரவர்த்தியோட இளமை காலத்துல நடக்கிற கதை. இந்த கதையோட ஸ்பேனே ஒரு 6 to 8 months தான். இந்த கதையோட நாயகன் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா வந்தியத்தேவன் அப்படிங்கிறவர் தான். அவர் எங்க இருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சு அவர் எங்க இருந்து முடிக்கிறார் அப்படிங்கறதுதான் கதை. இந்த அவர் மூலியமா தான் நமக்கு ராஜராஜ சோழனே அறிமுகமாறாரு. சோ இந்த கதையில நிகழ்றது போல எல்லா நிகழ்வுகளும் அப்படியே நிகழ்ந்ததா அப்படின்னா அதுக்கு சான்றுகள் இல்லை. இது அந்த சரித்திர நிகழ்வுகளை தழுவி எழுதப்பட்ட ஒரு கதை தான். சரி, காலம் தாழ்த்தாம நான் கதைக்குள்ள போறேன். ஆதி அந்தமில்லாத கால வெள்ளத்தில் கற்பனை ஓடத்தில் ஏறி நம்முடன் சிறிது நேரம் பிரயாணம் செய்யுமாறு நேர்களை அழைக்கிறோம். வினாடிக்கு 1 நூற்றாண்டு வீதம் எளிதில் கடந்து இன்றைக்கு 982 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு முந்தைய காலத்துக்கு செல்வோமாக அப்படின்னு தான் கல்கி இதை தொடங்குறாரு. லைக் 982 இயர்ஸ்க்கு பின்னாடி போலாம். ஏன்னா இது 1950s எழுதினதுனால அவர் அப்படிதான் இந்த நாவல தொடங்குறாரு. மேலும் தொடர்வதற்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு சின்ன ரெக்வெஸ்ட். பொன்னியின் செல்வன் சொல்லணும் அப்படிங்கிறது சமுத்திரத்தை சிப்பிக்குள்ள அடைக்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு என்னோட ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு முயற்சி தான். ஒரு 2200 பேஜஸ் அந்த 5 பாகமா இருக்கக்கூடிய இந்த காவியத்தை என்னால முடிஞ்ச அளவுக்கு நான் சுவாரஸ்யமா சொல்ல ட்ரை பண்றேன். சரி, கதையை தொடர்றேன். முதலாம் பராந்தக சக்கரவர்த்தி, அவருக்கு 3 மகன்கள் இருக்காங்க. ராஜாதித்தர், கண்டராதித்தர், அரிஞ்சயர். ராஜாதித்தர் அவர் தான் முதல் மகன். அவர் ஒரு போர்ல இறந்து போயிடுறாங்க. அடுத்த மகன் கண்டராதித்தர். கண்டராதித்தருக்கு ஆட்சி மேலாம் அவ்வளவா ஆர்வமே இல்லை. அவர் ஒரு சிவபக்தர். இருந்தாலும் அவரை கட்டாயப்படுத்தி அப்படியோ ஆட்சியில ஏற்றிடுறாங்க. அவர் அவரோட வயசான காலத்துல செம்பியன் மாதேவி அப்படிங்கிறவங்கள திருமணம் செஞ்சுக்கிறாங்க. அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு பிள்ளை, அவருக்கு பேர் மதுராந்தகன் அப்படின்னு. கண்டராதித்தருக்கு தன் மகன் அரியாசனம் ஏறக்கூடாது. அவன் சிவபக்தியில திளைத்து சைவர்களுக்கு சேவை செய்யணும் அப்படிங்கறது அவரோட ஆசை. அவர் இறக்கும் தருவாயில அரிஞ்சயர், அதாவது 3வது மகன், அப்புறம் அவரோட வாரிசுகள் தான் ஆட்சியை தொடரணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு போயிடுறாரு. அரிஞ்சயர் கொஞ்ச நாள் ஆட்சி புரியுறாரு. அதுக்கப்புறம் அவரோட மகன் சுந்தர சோழர் வராரு. சுந்தர சோழருக்கு 3 மகன்கள். இங்க இருந்துதான் நம்ம கதையை ஆரம்பிக்குது. இந்த சுந்தர சோழரும் அவரோட 3 பிள்ளைகளும் தான் நம்ம கதையில கதாநாயகர்கள் அந்த மாதிரி. சோ அவரோட 3 பிள்ளைகள் யாருன்னு பார்த்தா ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன், குந்தவை, அருள்மொழிவர்மன். அருள்மொழிவர்மன் தான் பிற்காலத்துல ராஜராஜ சோழனாராரு. சோ இந்த கதை தொடங்கும் போது சுந்தர சோழருக்கு ரொம்ப உடம்பு முடியல. அவர் தஞ்சை கோட்டையில பழுவேட்டரையர்கள் அவங்களோட பாதுகாப்புல இருக்காங்க. பழுவேட்டரையர்கள் யாருன்னு பார்த்தா பழுவூர் குலத்தை சேர்ந்த சிற்றரசர்கள். அதுல பெரிய பழுவேட்டரையர், சின்ன பழுவேட்டரையர்னு 2 பேர். அந்த பெரிய பழுவேட்டரையர் தான் கன அதிகாரி. நிறைய கதாபாத்திரங்கள் சொல்றேன், குழம்ப வேண்டாம். மெயினான கதை என்னன்னா சுந்தர சோழருக்கு உடம்பு முடியல. இதுதான் மெயின். அங்கிருந்துதான் கதை ஆரம்பிக்குது. அந்த பெரிய பழுவேட்டரையர் அவருக்கு ஒரு 60 வயது இருக்கும். அவர் ஒரு வயசான காலத்துல ஒரு இளம் பெண்ணை திருமணம் செஞ்சுட்டு வராங்க. அவங்கதான் பழுவூர் இளையராணி நந்தினி. நந்தினி அழகுல ரத்தி போன்றவங்க, அவ்வளோ அழகானவங்க. 60 வயசு கழவரை மனம் செஞ்சுட்டு வந்தா நிச்சயம் ஏதாவது ஒரு உள்ளடக்கம் இருக்கும்ல. அந்த நந்தினி தான் நம்ம கதையோட ஆன்டகனிஸ்ட், அதாவது அவங்கதான் நம்ம கதையோட வில்லி. சுந்தர சோழரோட மகன் ஆதித்ய கரிகாலனோட நண்பன் வானர் குலத்து வீரன் வந்தியத்தேவன். நான் முதலே சொன்னேன்ல, இவன் தான் கதாநாயகன். இவன் மூலியமா தான் கதை தொடங்குது. சோ வந்தியத்தேவனும் ஒரு சிற்றரசன் தான். ஆனா போர்ல அவனோட ராஜ்யத்தை எல்லாம் இழந்துட்டான். இப்ப ஆதித்ய கரிகாலனோட பெஸ்ட் ஃப்ரெண்டா அவன் கூடவே அவன் இருக்கான். சோ ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன் என்ன பண்றான், என்னோட அப்பா சுந்தர சோழனையும் என் தங்க குந்தவை பிராட்டியும் போய் பார்த்து நான் கொடுக்குற ஓலையை கொடு அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அனுப்புறான். சுந்தர சோழரை தஞ்சை கோட்டையில இருக்காரு. அவரை பார்க்க போகும்போது வந்தியத்தேவனுக்கு வந்தியத்தேவன் வந்து அவனோட நண்பன் கந்தன்மாறன் அப்படிங்கிறவன ஒரு போற வழியில மீட் பண்றான். அவன் மூலியமா தான் அவனுக்கு தெரியுது இப்போ வந்து ராஜ்யத்துல அங்க வந்து வால் நட்சத்திரம் தோன்றது அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. வால் நட்சத்திரம் தோணுது அப்படின்னா அந்த நாட்டுல ஏதோ ஒரு அவசகுணமான விஷயம் நடக்க போகுது அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். சோ வால் நட்சத்திரம் தோன்றி மறையதாவும் அதனால ராஜாங்கத்துக்கு ஏதோ பேர் அபாயம் வரப்போதாவும் ஒருவேளை சுந்தர சோழர் மறைஞ்சிட்டாருன்னா அடுத்து யாரு ஆட்சிக்கு வருவா அப்படின்னு பேசிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. அங்க வந்து ஒரு சதி நடக்குது. சுந்தர சோழருக்கு பிறகு ஆதித்ய கரிகாலர் அவரோட முதல் மகன் அவன் வரக்கூடாது, கண்டராதித்தரோட மகன் மதுராந்தகனுக்கு தான் பட்டம் கட்டணும் அப்படின்னு பேசிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. மதுராந்தகன் வந்து ஒரு போரை கூட பாக்காதவன், அவன் வந்து கடவுள்னு அப்படின்னு இருக்கிறவன். அவனை ஒருவேளை ஆட்சியில ஏற்றிட்டா அவன் வந்து ரொம்ப நாளைக்கு அவனால சக்சஸ்ஃபுல்லா ஆட்சி நடத்த முடியாது, அவனை கீழே இறக்கிட்டு இந்த பழுவேட்டரையர் ராஜா ஆயிடலாம் அப்படின்னு வந்து பழுவேட்டரையரோட மனைவி நந்தினி வந்து நல்லா தூபம் போட்டு அவங்கள வந்து அந்த மாதிரி மாத்தி வச்சிருக்காங்க. இது தெரிஞ்சோடனே வந்தியத்தேவன் வந்து என்ன பண்றான்னா அவங்களோட தங்கச்சி குந்தவை பிராட்டி கிட்ட போய் சொல்றான். குந்தவை பிராட்டி என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா உடனே போய் என்னுடைய தம்பி அருள்மொழிவர்மன் அதாவது ராஜராஜ சோழனை போய் கூட்டிட்டு வா, இந்த நாட்டுல வந்து அமைதி நிலவணும், இந்த மாதிரி போக கூடாது அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அனுப்புறாங்க. அப்போ இவர் வந்து அருள்மொழிவர்மனை பாக்குறதுக்கு இலங்கைக்கு போறாரு. ஈழம்ங்கிறது இப்போ இலங்கை. அங்க அவங்களும் வந்து அருள்மொழிவர்மனும் வந்தியத்தேவனும் ரொம்ப பெஸ்ட் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் ஆயிடுறாங்க, ரொம்ப உயிர் நண்பர்கள் ஆயிடுறாங்க. அருள்மொழிவர்மனுக்கு ஈழத்திலேயே நிறைய ஆபத்து வருது. அவர் படுத்திருந்த இடம் வந்து இடிஞ்சு விழுது, அப்புறம் அந்த இடம் வந்து தீப்பற்றி எரியுது. இந்த மாதிரி பல அபாயங்களிலிருந்தும் ஒரு பெண்மணி வந்து அருள்மொழிவர்மனை காப்பாற்றுறாங்க. வந்தியத்தேவனுக்கு ஒரே ஆச்சரியம், ஏன்னா அந்த பெண்மணி வந்து பழுவேட்டரையரோட மனைவி நந்தினி மாதிரியே இருக்காங்க. என்ன இவங்களும் அவங்களும் ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்காங்க, அந்த கொடிய பாம்பு ராஜ்யத்தையே அழிக்க நினைக்கிற பாம்பு ஏன் வந்து அருள்மொழிவர்மனை காப்பாற்றணும் அப்படின்னு அவர் ரொம்ப யோசிக்கிறாரு. ஆனா அதே சமயம் நம்ம அருள்மொழிவர்மனுக்கு இந்த பெண்மணியா, நான் சின்ன குழந்தையா இருந்த போது என்ன கடல்ல இருந்து காப்பாத்தின பெண்மணியாச்சே அப்படின்னு தோன்றாங்க. சோ 2 பேரும் ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்காங்க, நந்தினியும் இந்த பெண்மணியும். இந்த பெண்மணிக்கு பெயர் வந்து மந்தாகினி. நம்ம கதையில வந்து ஊமை ராணி அப்படின்னு கொண்டு போறாங்க. இது இப்படி இருக்க வந்தியத்தேவன் சுந்தர சோழர் வந்து தன் மகனை சிறைப்படுத்தி கொண்டு வருமாறு, ஏன்னா அருள்மொழிவர்மனை வாவான்னு கூப்பிட்டு பார்த்தாங்க, அவன் ராஜ்யத்துக்கு வரவே மாட்டேங்கிறான். சரி அவனை சிறைப்படுத்தி கூட்டிட்டு வந்துருவோம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி சுந்தர சோழர் ஆட்கள் அனுப்புறாங்க. தன் அப்பா சிறைப்படுத்த சொன்னாருன்ற விஷயத்த தெரிஞ்சுட்டு உடனே வந்தியத்தேவனும் ராஜராஜ சோழனும் கிளம்பி வராங்க. கிளம்பி வரும்போது ஒரு சுழல் காற்று வருது. அந்த சுழல் காற்றுல வந்தியத்தேவன் மூழ்கிட்டான். அவனை காப்பாத்துறதுக்காக நம்மளோட ராஜராஜ சோழனும் அதுக்குள்ளேயே குதிச்சிடுறாரு. நாடு நகரம் எல்லாம் பரவுது, இந்த மாதிரி ராஜராஜ சோழன் இறந்துட்டாரு, அருள்மொழிவர்மன் இறந்துட்டாரு அப்படின்னு நாடு நகரம் எல்லாம் பரவுது. நாடு முழுக்க ஒரே பதற்றம். ஆனா ஒரு ஓடைக்கார பெண் பூங்குழலி அப்படிங்கிறவங்க என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா இவரை காப்பாத்தி நாகைப்பட்டினத்துல சூடாமணி விஹாரம் அப்படின்னு ஒரு இடத்துல கொண்டு போய் சேர்த்து இவரை பாத்துக்கோங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு விட்டுட்டு போயிடுறாங்க. சூடாமணி விஹாரத்துல விட்டதுக்கு அப்புறமா குந்தவை பிராட்டி வந்து தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறாங்க தன் தம்பி அங்கதான் இருக்கான், தன் தம்பிக்கு ஒண்ணும் ஆகல அப்படின்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டு போய் தம்பிய பார்த்து நாட்டுல சரியில்லைப்பா நீ வா அப்படின்னு கூப்பிடுறாங்க. அதே சமயம் இப்போ நாட்டுல சதி நடக்குதுல்ல, தான் அண்ணன் ஆதித்ய கரிகாலனுக்கும் ஏதாவது கெடுதல் நடக்க வாய்ப்பு உண்டு, நீங்க போய் என் அண்ணனை பாத்துக்கோங்க அப்படின்னு வந்தியத்தேவனை அங்க அனுப்பி விட்டுடுறா. அப்புறமா குந்தவை பிராட்டி அப்புறமா நம்ம அருள்மொழிவர்மர் எல்லாரும் அருள்மொழிவர்மர் வந்து ஒரு யானை பாகன் மாதிரி வேடமிட்டு சுந்தர சோழரை பாக்குறதுக்காக வராங்க. தஞ்சாவூர் கோட்டைக்கு வந்துடுறாங்க. தந்தையும் மகனும் பேசிட்டு இருக்கும் போது அந்த ரூம்ல திடீர்னு விளக்குகள்லாம் அணைந்து அறையில ஐயோ அப்படின்னு ஒரு சத்தம். சுந்தர சோழர் மேல யாரோ கத்தி எடுத்து குத்திடுறாங்க. ஆனா அவங்கள காப்பாத்துறதுக்காக ஊமை ராணி இருக்காங்கல்ல, அந்த மந்தாகினி தேவி, அவங்க வந்து சுந்தர சோழர் மேல குத்தப்பட்ட அவரை குத்த விடாம தான் வாங்கிட்டாங்க. சோ இப்போ மந்தாகினி தேவி இறந்து போயிடுறாங்க. சுந்தர சோழர் வந்து துடிச்சு போயிடுறாரு, இவங்க ஏன் இங்க வந்தாங்க அப்படின்னு. இந்த காட்சியை பார்க்கும்போது அப்படி நமக்கே கண்கள் கசியும் வகையில அவ்வளவு உணர்ச்சி பூர்வமா எழுதியிருப்பாரு கல்கி. இது இந்த பக்கம் இப்படி இருக்க பழுவேட்டரையருக்கு வந்து ஒரு செய்தி தெரிய வருது. ஒரே நேரத்துல சுந்தர சோழர், ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன், அருள்மொழிவர்மன் 3 பேரையும் தீர்த்து கட்டுவதற்காக பாண்டி நாட்டு சதிகாரர்கள் திட்டம் வகுத்திருப்பதாகவும் தன்னுடைய அன்பு மனைவி நந்தினி பாண்டிய மன்னரின் மனைவி ஆதித்ய கரிகாலனை வஞ்சம் தீர்க்கறதுக்காக தான் பழுவேட்டரையரையே திருமணம் செஞ்சுட்டு வந்திருக்காங்க அப்படிங்கிற செய்தியும் அவங்களுக்கு தெரிய வருது. சோ அதாவது அது ஏன்னா சோழர்களும் பாண்டியர்களும் போர் புரிஞ்சிட்டு இருந்த போது ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன் பாண்டிய மன்னனை கொல்ல போறான். அப்போ நந்தினி வந்து தான் கணவனை விட்டுருங்க அப்படின்னு அவருக்கு கெஞ்சுறான். ஆனா ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன் கொஞ்சம் கூட மனமே இறங்காம அப்படியே அவனை கழுத்தை வெட்டி கொன்னுடுறான். அதனால ஆதித்ய கரிகாலனை பழி வாங்குவதற்காக தான் நந்தினி வந்து பழுவேட்டரையரை கல்யாணம் பண்ணிட்டு வந்துடுறாங்க. இதற்கிடையில அந்த ஊமைராணி இருக்காங்கல்ல, அவங்க வந்து சுந்தர சோழரோட முதல் மனைவி அப்படின்னும் நந்தினி அந்த ஊமைராணியோட பெண்ணுதான் அப்படிங்கறதும் தெரிய வருது. சோ பழுவேட்டரையர் வந்து ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன் இது தெரிஞ்ச உடனே பழுவேட்டரையர் என்ன பண்றாருன்னா, ஐயோ ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன் அடுத்து ராஜாவா இருக்க போறானே, அவனை காப்பாத்தனே அப்படின்னு அவர் வந்து ஓடுறாரு. அவர் ஓடி போய் பார்க்கும்போது நந்தினி, ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன், வந்தியத்தேவன், மணிமேகலைன்னு ஒரு கேரக்டருக்கும் அந்த கேரக்டருக்கு நிறைய முக்கியத்துவம் இருக்கு. நேரமின்மை காரணமாக என்னால அந்த கதாபாத்திரத்தை கொண்டு வர முடியல. சோ அந்த நந்தினி வந்து நந்தினியும் வந்தியத்தேவனும் பேசிட்டு இருக்காங்க. நான் வந்து ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன் பழி வாங்கணும், நீ வந்து ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன் பழி வாங்கணும்னு நினைச்சாலும் அவன் சகோதரன், நீ அவனை கொல்லக்கூடாது அப்படின்னு வந்தியத்தேவன் வந்து பேசிட்டு இருக்கான். ஆனா நந்தினி வந்து அப்போ புது குண்டா இருக்கிறாங்க. அவன் என் சகோதரன் இல்ல, நான் வந்து பாண்டி நாட்டோட வாரிசு, என் தாய் ஊமைராணியா இருந்து என் தந்தை பாண்டியன் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஆனா அவங்க சுந்தர சோழர் சொல்றாரு இவர் என் முதல் மனைவி அப்படின்னு. இதுல வந்து ஒரு பெரிய சஸ்பென்ஸ் இருக்கும். அது கடைசி பக்கம் வரைக்கும் போயிட்டே இருக்கும் அந்த புத்தகத்துல. இப்போ வந்து ஊமைராணிக்கும் நம்ம நந்தினி தேவிக்கும் உருவ ஒற்றுமை இருக்கு அப்படிங்கறதுனால எல்லாரும் ரொம்ப குழம்பி போயிடுறாங்க. இப்போ இவங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் பேசிட்டு இருந்தாங்கல்ல, அந்த இடம் வந்து திடீர்னு தீப்பற்றி எரியுது. கந்தன்மாறன் அப்படிங்கிறவன் வந்து என்ன பண்றான்னா, கந்தன்மாறன் தான் வந்து இந்த கடம்பூர் மாளிகையில இருக்கான். அவன் தான் அந்த மாளிகையோட ராஜா மாதிரி. அவன் வந்து என்ன திடீர்னு பத்தி எரியுது அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஓடி வந்து பார்க்கும்போது நம்மளோட ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன் இறந்து கிடக்காரு. நந்தினி அந்த இடத்துல இல்ல, வந்தியத்தேவன் தான் வந்து அவர் பக்கத்துல படுத்து கிடக்கு. அவரும் மயக்கமா கிடக்காரு. அங்க என்ன நடந்ததுன்னு யாருக்குமே தெரியாது. கடைசி வரைக்கும் அதை வந்து ஒரு சஸ்பென்ஸாவே விட்டுருப்பாரு கல்கி. கடைசி வரைக்கும் அதை யாரு கொன்னாங்க ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன் அப்படிங்கிறது கதையில வரவே வராது. இப்போ இந்த நேரத்துல இன்னொரு அதிர்ச்சியான தகவல் வந்து எல்லாருக்கும் தெரிய வருது. என்னன்னா, செம்பியன் மாதேவியோட மகன் தான் வந்து மதுராந்தகன் அப்படின்னு நம்ம நினைச்சிட்டு இருந்தால, அந்த மதுராந்தகன் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு பிறந்த பிள்ளையே இல்ல, அவனும் பாண்டி நாட்டு வாரிசு அப்படின்னு தெரிய வருது. சோ ஆக்சுவலா இவங்களுக்கு பிறந்த குழந்தை வந்து கோவிலுக்கு வந்து பூங்கைங்கரியம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அது என்னன்னா, கோவிலுக்கு பூ பறிச்சு கொடுத்து அந்த மாதிரி செய்யற ஒரு ஊமை பெண் வீட்டுல வளருது அப்படின்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறாங்க. அந்த குழந்தையோட பேர் வந்து சேந்தனமுதன். அந்த சேந்தனமுதன் தான் அந்த ஓடைக்கார பெண் பூங்குழலியை கல்யாணம் பண்ணிட்டு கடைசியில அவங்கதான் ராஜாவாகவும் ராணியாவும் ஆவாங்க. சோ இப்போ வந்து ஓகே, ஆதித்ய கரிகாலன் இறந்துட்டான், அடுத்தது தம்பி அருள்மொழிவர்மன் ராஜராஜ சோழன் அவன் தானே ஆட்சிக்கு ஏறணும் அப்படின்னு எல்லாரும் அவனுக்கு பட்டம் கட்டுறதுக்கு எல்லாம் ஏற்பாடு பண்ணிடுறாங்க. ராஜராஜ சோழனும் சரி நான் வந்து ராஜா ஆறேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு கடைசி நிமிஷத்துல ஏதோ ஒரு ட்ரிக் பண்ணி நம்மளோட சேந்தனமுதன் அவரை வந்து ராஜா ஆக்கிடுறாரு. நீங்க விக்கிபீடியால போய் செக் பண்ணி பாத்தீங்கன்னாலும் மதுராந்தகன் அவருக்கு அடுத்துதான் ராஜராஜ சோழன் அப்படின்னு காட்டும். இந்த மதுராந்தகன் யாருன்னா அந்த நம்ம கதையில முதல்ல இருந்து பார்த்துட்டு வந்த மதுராந்தகன் இல்ல, புதுசா வந்த சேந்தனமுதன் தான் வந்து மதுராந்தகனா இருப்பான். சோ சேந்தனமுதன் ராஜா ஆயிடுறான். அவங்களோட மனைவி பூங்குழலி வந்து ராணி ஆயிடுறாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறமா அவங்க இறந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் ராஜராஜ சோழன் வந்து திரும்ப ஆட்சிக்கு வராது. சோ இந்த கதை வந்து பொன்னியின் செல்வன் அப்படின்னு பொன்னியின் செல்வன் ஏன் இந்த டைட்டில் வந்துச்சுன்னா, ஒரு தடவை அந்த கடல்ல விழுந்தப்போ அந்த அம்மா காப்பாத்தினாங்க. அந்த அம்மா யாரு காப்பாத்தினான்னு நமக்கு யாருக்குமே தெரியல. பொன்னி நதி தாயே, அதாவது காவிரி தாயே வந்து அருள்மொழிவர்மனை காப்பாத்தினதுனால பொன்னியின் செல்வன் அப்படின்னு அவருக்கு வந்து இந்த அடைமொழி கொடுக்க ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. சோ இந்த கதை வந்து பொன்னியின் செல்வன் அப்படின்னு இருந்தாலும் இந்த கதையோட உண்மையான நாயகன் யாருன்னு பார்த்தா வந்தியத்தேவன் தான். ஏன் அப்படி சொல்றேன் அப்படிங்கிறது நீங்க வந்து புத்தகத்தை படிச்சாதான் தெரியும். நேரமின்மை காரணமா என்னால கதையோட எல்லா திருப்பங்களையும் சொல்ல முடியல. ஆழ்வார்க்கடியான், பூங்குழலி, மணிமேகலை, வானதி அப்படின்னு கதையில மிக ரசிக்க வேண்டிய கேரக்டர்ஸ் நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ வாய்ப்பு கிடைத்தா கண்டிப்பா இந்த புத்தகத்தை வாங்கி படிங்க. இல்லைன்னா யூடியூப்ல வந்து ஆடியோ புக்காவும் இது இருக்கு. ஸோ இந்த அழகான பிரயாணத்துல நமக்கு இடமளித்த கல்விக்கும் நன்றி, வாய்ப்பளித்த புக் ஷோவுக்கும் நன்றி. ஆல்சோ டு தி பீப்புள் who didn't understand a single word of this story. I'll just tell the story in a minute. So this story revolves around Vandiyathevan. He is a very brilliant young man, and he sets out to the Chola land to deliver a message to the king and the princess from the crown prince Aditya Karigalan. Then the story shuttles between Vandiyathevan's travels in the Chola country and the young prince Arulmozhivarman travels in Sri Lanka. So then the narrative deals with attempts by Sister Kundavai to bring back Arulmozhi to, to bring political peace in the land, as there are signs of civil war. So that's it. I hope you liked my narration, and I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really great, Rakshana. So I hope everyone really enjoyed the narration. So even though there was little confusions between the characters here and there because we couldn't follow up that much fast. So there are so many characters, but the historical narration, it was really fantabulous. So we really enjoyed it. I hope everyone like me we would like to read our next book first, Ponniyin Selvan. So thank you so much for bringing this up.
Thank you.
You can see the chat.
Yeah, I thought that people wouldn't understand the story because it's a very huge book and there are so many characters and every character has importance. So you can't skip any of the characters.
Exactly. Actually, you inspired everyone to read this Ponniyin Selvan as their next book. So even though the characters are confusing, your narration and your way of portraying the characters and explaining the things, it's really amazing. So we were stuck to the screen and hearing everything. So and finally you ended up with the English version of that small part. So that was also really fantastic. Thank you so much for being part of this book show.
Actually
thank you everybody. Thank you for listening.
Yes, Kalevani.
Yeah, so actually what I am about to say is yeah, can you hear me guys? Sorry.
Yeah, Kalevani, I think we can hear you.
I'm not able to hear her. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually she unknowingly created an effect within me just to read that book. So a tone and voice and the portraying in a Tamil language, entirely amazed, seriously speaking. So I just want to, till now I didn't read a Ponniyin Selvan book till now. So after your narration, I feel like I had to read it. Surely I had to read it. That's how I feel it. So thank you so much for this narration, Rakshana.
Thank you so much. If I had inspired at least a single person to read the book, then I'm blessed. Thank you.
Yeah, then you succeeded, Rakshana. You have inspired everyone, I think. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So thank you, Rakshana. So I would like to, without wasting time, I would like to next call upon the next narrator. So Daniksha, the stage is all yours. You can give your narration.
I want to share my screen. So.
Sure, Daniksha, you can.
Shall I start, sir?
Yeah, sure. Daniksha, you can start.
First of all, a warm good evening to all. Myself, I am B.D. Daniksha. Today, I would like to narrate one story from a book. So let's go into the topic. This book is called You Can Win. The book title name is You Can Win. It's written by Shiv Khera. So the word itself gives a positive impact, and it's very famous book, and it is an international bestseller book, and even it have sold about 16 languages. We can see here about it have sold 16 languages in about over 2.6 million copies. So that much famous this book, and this book is completely of motivational stories. And come, let's go into the topic. But before going to that, I would like to start with a quote. You can win. Winners don't do different things. They do things differently. Let's go into learning about the author, Shiv Khera. The word Shiv itself tells about the Lord Shiva, and same way, the author is also an Indian poet. He's an author too, and he's very famous for self-help books and activists. Self-help books means some people will be having two types of mindsets. One is positive mindset, and the another one would be the negative mindset. When we are feeling down, we would like to change our mindset towards something, listening to music or watching some comedies. But when we are in a lonely situation, we would like to read some books, right? So such type of books is the book what I'm going to tell now. You Can Bet. It's something gives you motivation and makes you bring some right decisions in your life. Shiv Khera is also he have a party too, and he's a politician, and he have a party called Bharatiya Rashtra Jiva Party, which was drawn up in the year of 1998, so long back, and this book was also released in the year 1998. It's about knowing about the preface of this book. That is, success doesn't mean the absence of failures. It means the attainment of ultimate objectives. It means winning the war, not every battle. Actually, in this book, the starting of the book, author have given a rule. You know what's the rule? Author have said that only these people should read this book, and these people who are following these type of habits should not read this book. You know who are they? Actually, we have seen many beggars in our life. If you see them, they are only objective, their only goal, day-to-day goals would be like they should have 3 times of food in a day, morning, afternoon and evening, and they should get some coins or the money to have to feed their food. That's it. Their achievement would be something bigger than that. It would be like getting food and having a small amount of money. But when you see like a student who want to achieve something big in a life, would be learning something, would be making something to a part of achievement. So it would be like growing some habits or doing some activity that is related to his or her achievement. Same way, preface, in this preface, it mainly tells about we should be ready to win the war, not the battle. You know what's the difference between war and battle? Actually, let's take an example of First World War. It's not a single day or a week or month. It's something like a long period of time. It can be even years. So when we see that there are some fights, battle means fight. The author wants to tell that we are not just born to win the fight. We are just born to win the our even life. Every single one a life. We are born to win our life. Even Abdul Kalam have passed away several years before, but still his famous is roaming around in this world. The same way, but the author doesn't want everyone to be like Abdul Kalam, but the way he follows, the path that he took for the attainment of success is important. Second thing that I want to tell the author, then this book is, you can ask what type of book is this? Actually, I have given 3 points. One is a cookbook, second is a construction manual, and third is a guidebook. When you take a cookbook, it's also called as a recipe book, where you will be having many type of recipes and the instructions to make it. So same way, as well as whereas you come to the construction manual, for example, we can take a building. To construct a building, we need an engineer, a proper educated engineer, as well as those products for for constructing a building. So everyone for making a building, we have to start from the basement. Same way, this is also called as a guidebook. Actually, this all rule will implies in our life too. That is, the book will give you step by step principles of our life to gain the path of achievement and to gain success. That's what the book is all about. Now I'm going to talk about 3 chapters. The first thing is chapter 1, building a positive attitude. Whenever we in our world, we have crossed many persons in our life, our parents, our friends, our teachers, then our workers, then our officers, then our relatives, and so on. So in everyone's character, we would be judging like, oh, he's a good person. He would be having, when we go near to them, we can get some good positive vibes. Then opposite, if we go to our enemy, we feel like very tense and very angry, and we feel something like negative vibes. So that is what this starting of the story gets continued. What happened is a man is there in a village, and he is a balloon shop. Like he used to sell different colors of balloons. He used to go from one village to the another village for selling different colors of balloons at different costs. He's very famous for balloon selling. One day he is in a fair. Many children are very interested in buying different colors of balloons. There are like red color, yellow color, orange, blue, every color, even black color is also there. So what happened now? Everyone were very eager in purchasing different colors of balloons. And at the time, after getting evening, what happened? His business started getting down. Everyone would be having a thought on how to get up from the failures. Same way, this man also was aiming on how to get up from this loss. Why our business is going down? He don't know the reason why his business is going very down. So after thinking for a long time, he got a very good idea. What happened on the next day? Same way, his business doesn't get in a very upward direction. Same way, it was going into a loss. What happened suddenly? He removed a balloon from the strings and he left a fly up. He left to fly out. So what happened when the balloon fly? All the children started looking at the balloon which is flying on the top. Everyone were very like those small kids were very surprised to see those balloons which are flying in the top. Suddenly, every children again started coming to the man for buying those colorful balloons. Same way, his business was going in a very good manner. And one day, one boy came here to the man and asked a question. You know what he asked? He asked, "Uncle, whether this black color balloon would fly or not? Can you tell me, please?" Like that, he asked the question to the man, the one who is selling the balloons. And the balloon keeper told like, "Son, dear son, it doesn't depend on the color of the balloon. It depends on what is filled inside." So this word, I would like to repeat it again. Dear son, it doesn't depend on the color of the balloon. It depends on what is filled inside. This just a single line can give a great impact. Same way, the author just wants to narrate that every man, it doesn't depend on whether he's rich or poor, but the only mindset, the intelligence and the knowledge which he have inside will that is it doesn't differ that after 10 years or 20, we can't be in the same situation. A richer man can even get poor, or the poor man can even get richer. It depends on the knowledge and how he used it. This tells about building a positive impact. Let's go to the second story, Acres of Diamond. When we hear the word called diamond, it's really applicable for the country, continent Africa. When we take the Africa, it is really famous for diamond mining, and it's very famous for its diamond and its different types and colors of diamonds. One day, what happened in Africa? There is a farmer who have a farm. He was doing all those farming works in the farm. One wise man came to the farm. He said, like, you can see my thumb, right? In my thumb size, I want a diamond. So, for my thumb size, I want a diamond. If I get that such type of diamond, I can even buy the whole area. Like that, he said. And also, he told, like, when I get the diamond at the size of my fist, my hand size, and then I can buy the whole country, he said. He was very surprised. The farmer was very surprised after hearing the words of the wise man. He was very shocked and surprised. Oh my God, our country is already famous for diamonds. If we get such type of diamonds, then we can also become a richer person like that. He was thinking the night, and that night he doesn't sleep at all. He was just blinking and thinking of the methods to find those diamond at the size as he asked. Next day, what he thought was, after thinking for a long time, actually, from before that, the farmer was very fulfilled, living a happy life without any objection. He was content, like he was very fulfilled. He doesn't have any type of needs because his family was very happy. He was having enough money, enough food. He was also owning a land. So no worries for him. He was very happy. But at the time, what happened? After the wise man said his own words, he thought of selling his land because in search of diamonds, he needs some money, right? So, in search of land or in search of diamonds, he wants some money. To get money, he sold his land. Uh, what happened next time? A new farmer bought that old land. Then what happened? The old farmer, that is, who went in search of diamonds, he went to the all over places searching with all over the places for searching diamonds. But what happened? His family situation got upturned. That is, all his happiness was lost, all his money went, and nothing remained in his life. But what happened? The new farmer who bought the land was doing cultivation works in his farm. Suddenly, again the wise man came and asked whether you saw the whole farm like that. And the new farmer said that no, no, he just sold this land to me, and I am just holding the land. And no one have come. I don't know where he went like that. He told it. And after some time, uh, after the wise man came, right? So before that day, he was doing the same cultivation works. On the land, he saw some very shining stone, very white color, very it was very bright. And he took and he washed and saw it was very shiny. It was completely white and bright. What happened? He thought it's a simple stone, and he took and kept it inside the house. And on the next day, as normal, the wise man came and asked, and he showed that this is something a waste stone, I guess. Are you asking this? And after showing the stone to the wise man was very surprised. And he told like, yeah, this is what I was searching for the long time. I want this stone. Can you give me? Like that, he was asking to the new farmer. And when he turned his neck around, he was very, very surprised that his land was full of diamonds. That is, he was having a plot of land. It can be even an acre. So what happened? The full acre was having lots and lots of shining full diamonds. So the wise man was very surprised. From here, the story ends. Actually, the message the author wants to tell you is that the old farmer, the old farmer was owning the same land, nothing different in that. The same land except diamonds was there, but he doesn't search inside his farm. Instead of that, he went in search of other farms. So what happened? His family also, his land also was went. His happiness also was went. But think of the new farmer. He just bought the new farm also. Also, all the diamonds belongs to him. From this story, the author wants to tell some couple of morals. Let's see about that. When our attitude is right, we realize that we are all walking on acres and acres of diamonds. Just think, when we just think of the farmer, the old farmer, if he checked that whether the diamonds are inside his farm, he would be owning all those precious diamonds. But he doesn't do that. So he lost his opportunity. The grass on the other side always looks greener. The third point, author says that when persons don't know how to recognize opportunity, they complain the noise when it knocks. It's something more valuable moral. Actually, everyone have opportunity in their lives. Everyone have opportunity even a second, but the one who doesn't use it in a proper time will just look for the problem that arises in the future. By thinking of the future problems itself, he will lose the current opportunity and he won't be getting success in his life. The same opportunity never knocks twice. The next opportunity can be better or worse, but it can be never the same. Just think of you're making a lottery of about just 10 rupees. You're buying a ticket, but the ticket you bought, it can be even nothing. It can be even 0 or 100. But next time, when you try the opportunity, it can be 10 lakh or even the same 0. Which is what the author wants to tell. That is, everyone have the opportunity. But looking into others' opportunity, we should not be worrying about it because everyone will have some different opportunities. But when we are using it in the right time, we can gain success. The next thing is about the chapter 3.
Hello, Daniksha. Sorry to interrupt. Time is running out, so can you finish this chapter quickly because other narrators are waiting. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
The last chapter that I want to tell is chapter 3, factors that determine our attitude. So this attitude can be determined in many ways. The author wants to tell this in triple E, that is environment, education, and experience. From these three only, a person can gain the attitude. It can be either positive or even negative. The first thing is about environment. In environment, we can see that is a person can learn activity in such type of places. It can be home, school, work, media. It can be work, media, cultural background, religious background, traditional and belief, social environment, and political environment. From these type of places, a person can know the impact of the attitude or in the basis of environment. Second, when we come to the experience, author says that behavior can be changed with the help of experience that we are gaining. So that is what the experience tells us. Last becomes about the education. Whenever we are learning something, we gain something. When we learn, we are just acting to it. We are changing our habits. We are changing our lifestyle. That is what the education tells here. And last, the conclusion, I would like to tell this is something a very famous book that everyone wants to read. I want everyone, I hope like you are, when you are feeling to read, when you are feeling demotivated, I want like you can read this book, which is such something more motivational and gives more moral to it. In the last time, I would like to end up with a quote that is, whenever you are choosing right, be the best, and always you can be the best. Hoping you are enjoying. Thank you.
Taniksha, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so actually I was like, are you studying 12th standard? So your thoughts are amazing, seriously. So the quotes, they explained, the narration you did, it's all amazing. So I couldn't believe you're 12th standard and thanks for letting me know the difference between war and battle. So I read this book and you narrated all the things in a clear manner, and it seems like how you understand this book in even in a small age. So I'm fan of it.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Yeah, because actually she is the youngest narrator in today's evening. So really congratulations and kudos to Daniksha. So you really narrated very well. You have this talent. So keep narrating and keep inspiring us.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Yeah. So we would like to call the next narrator. So it's Lakshmi Kandan. Lakshmi Kandan, can you come forward?
Hello, good evening, everyone. It's audible, sir.
Yes, it's audible.
Good evening, everyone. I am Lakshmi Anand from Annur. I am pursuing BTech Computer Science and Business System in Bannariam Institute of Technology. It's my pleasure to explain this, give a short summary on this book written by Robin Sharma, Who Will Cry When You Die. Who Will Cry When You Die, written by Robin Sharma. First, I will tell about the author. He was a Canadian writer. He was a lawyer until his age 25. He is best known for his books. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. It's not a story book. It's a self-development book. Before I narrate this book, let me tell a short poem written by Kaviner Kannadasan. வீடு வரை உறவு, வீதி வரை மனைவி, காடு வரை பிள்ளை, கடைசி வரை யாரோ. வீடு வரை உறவு, வீதி வரை மனைவி, காடு வரை பிள்ளை, கடைசி வரை யாரோ. ஆடும் வரை ஆட்டம், ஆயிரத்தில் நாட்டம், ஆடும் வரை ஆட்டம், ஆயிரத்தில் நாட்டம், கொல்லி வரை யாரோ. This was a wonderful lyrics written by the Kaviner Kannadasan. This book contains 101 chapters. According to me, this is not 101 chapters. These are 101 life lessons which shapes your life. Then next, as this book contains 101 life lesson, let me tell any 3 or 4 lessons which is favorite to me. First of all, don't think dying as death as a negative one. Everyone in the world should die one day. If you read this book and follow these steps, you can face the death. You can face the death with a smiling face, like Shirthai movie, Karthik. Then the first chapter was start your day well. The first 30 minutes of your day was known as platinum timing. If you spend all those 30 minutes as a good one, you can spend rest of your life as smoothly. Then second, be kind to the strangers. For example, if you are going to, everyone in our life has some lesson to teach. Everyone has some lesson to teach us. If you for example, if you buying vegetables, you not simply give money and buy to the vegetable seller. Instead of that, you can put a positive smile on them, because it gives a positive it gives a recognition for their hard work, and then it will respect their work. The third lesson was be kind to the strangers. Know yourself. First of all, you want to know about someone, means what you do, you will go and talk to them to know about themselves. For example, you want to know about yourself, you want to talk to yourself and write a diary, because writing the diary gives positive and negative aspects of you. You can analyze yourself and can motivate yourself. Then the last lesson is schedule time for worries. Schedule time for worries means everyone in the life cannot put 100% effect on their works, because they are worrying during their work times, which happened in the past. You should schedule time for worryings and other aspects, and you should do your work correctly during the work time. So that's all. I can't explain all those 101 chapters. It seems like advising. Everyone are trying to update themselves of a good human. This book help them to achieve update themselves as a good human being, and let the life as in their happy manner. Thank you, Zero Pro. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
So thank you, Lakshmikandan. That's really a nice narration. I didn't expect this from you. Even the poem, the Tamil poems, that was really fantabulous. So you gave us some inspiration to finish this book and to explore all the 101 lessons. So thank you, Lakshmikandan. Yeah.
So it's one of
So Kalivan, you want to add points? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
go on.
The narration was so interesting. So I listened him completely throughout his narration. That's what I'm about to add here. And his analogy also so good. The Katti movie narration, everything.
So it's time for the next narrator. So I would like to call Karthik Soumya to step forward. The stage is all yours, Karthik Soumya.
Good evening to everybody. I'm going to say a real story which I came across in a reality show, that is Nia Nana. The topic on that day was, on the one side it was the adopted children, and the other side it was the adopted parents. And she narrated the story in a very good way, and would like to share this story to you guys. And she is a 10th studying girl. Every day her father has a habit of opening a cupboard, checking few things and locking it. That girl was very curious to know what was inside the cupboard. So one day her father forgot to take the key of the cupboard. So her curiosity bubbled, and she opened the cupboard, and there she found a small wooden box. Inside the wooden box there was a small red diary that was written by her mom. She took the diary, read it, and placed the diary inside the wooden box and locked the cupboard, placed the key that was actually kept by her father on the table. When her father came, she don't have any patience to wait. She asked her father, "Daddy, am I being adopted from a convent?" She asked her father, and her father was speechless. Then that moment her father could not reply to her what might should I say her. He was on that process of thinking, and he started to narrate the entire story that happened 15 years back. They were married, and for many long years they went on many treatments and medications, but it was all on vain, and they did not have a baby. So they spoke to a nun, and they have requested for a child. And one day 15 years back they received a call around 6 a.m. and they ran to the convent as soon as they received the call, and there was two babies. One is a boy and the other is a female. And the nun said the male boy is suiting to your complexions and he looks fluffy and strong, whereas the girl one looks dark and it looks weak. When her father was thinking whom to take along with them, the girl immediately grabbed the father's hand. And that moment, the father took the baby and hugged her and said to the nun that I would like to take this baby along with me. But the nun was completely shocked. She asked, why should you take this baby along with you? Because it is having some problems within her and you should give some medication support to her, and why you would like to take her, she asked him. Then he said, no, when I was thinking whom to take along with me, she was the one to grab my hand immediately. So I would like to take her. I will give all the support and I will take care of her medication. And he narrated the entire story, and they all were quiet. When her mother came from school that evening, usually their home won't be so very quiet, and on that day it was a pin drop silence. Her mother asked both of them, did you people do any mischievous things in my absence? And they both were very silent. And the girl asked her mother, dad said me all the story and the secret is being revealed. She said that, and her mother was questioned, what secret has been revealed, and what are you talking about? And she said, dad said me all the story that has happened 15 years back. And that was the day. In that 15 years, her mother scolded her dad, and still her mother is trying to convince that she's not an adopted child. She was bought from her own blood. But when she was explaining things to her, and when she turned towards the bed, she saw her own diary that was written by her, and she was stunned, and she couldn't say anything, and she started crying, and she broke out. And that moment, the girl said, even if my parents would take care of me, I wouldn't have been experienced such a love from them. You both take care of me in a very good manner, and this is my last time I'll be asking about my real parents. Hereafter, I won't ask anything about it. And now she's a business woman, and she's running a business manpower consultancy, and she's married to a doctor. This is my story. That's all. So I ask, in order to make it an interactive one, can anyone from the audience or from the community can suggest any moral for the story? Can you people say some moral? Add to the story?
Yeah, audience, please come forward. Anyone can add any point.
Let me
to
go
this
on
story.
mute now.
Yeah. Audience, if anyone wants to give the moral to this story. No one is coming forward. Okay, Karthik Swami, you can give moral if you want. Maybe they are willing to listen eagerly.
Maybe when we are trying so much and we don't get a baby, so we can adapt a child and give a beautiful life and full love to the adapted child and make them so happy and make them feel protected. That's all I could add. That is my moral from my view, hearing to her story.
Thank you so much. That's really great. The narration is really beautiful. You narrated really well. Even we are so happy to hear that it's a real real life story. So thank you so much for sharing this as well. So hope everyone would have got some inspiration what Karthik Soumya wanted to give us. So thank you so much, Karthik Soumya. It's really a wonderful narration.
Yes, Karthik Swami. Actually, thanks for taking up this story to this show, because when we keep on speaking this kind of things, then only this kind of culture will bring upon to the society. So I was really, it's heart touching the story, and thanks for taking the story to this show.
So
thank you to both of you for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, we are so happy to have such great narrators like you, Daniksha, Rakshana. So it's really wonderful to have you here. So next it's Gayatri's time. So Gayatri, you can come forward.
Off my video, please.
Your audio is too low, Gayatri, I think. Hello? I think we can't hear you clearly, Gayatri. There is noise from this because due to, I think, headset. So, it's too low to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes, Gayatri, it's much better. If you can, please be a little more louder.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Today, I would like to narrate my favorite motivational Tamil story book by Mr. Tirunavakarasa IPS. Before going on to the story, let me introduce about the author, Mr. Tirunavakarasam. He was an activist, a honest, brave police officer, inspirational to all who wants to fight rather than just watching at all and being silent. Surviving with his strong policies distinguished him from others. He was famous for his name, The Killer. Here, the author gives an clear-cut explanation to fight with whom and for what. His thoughts just turned to a book, Unnul Yuddham Sai, Make War Within Yourself. As this book has 30 chapters, and each chapters are filled with hidden messages, and there is a parable-like feel with anecdotes, axioms, and inspirational stories. Starting with the two main characters of the story, Ganeshan and Yashwant. Both have just now completed their 12th board exams and eagerly awaiting for their results. In the meanwhile, Yashwant planned to enjoy his vacation with his friend Ganeshan in Kadambur near Satyamangalam. They were roaming all around the village, and Ganeshan's mother gave him a walk in a nearby town. Yashwant also accompanied him. It was a trek where they had to climb a large mountain hill. They were so tired, and in the meanwhile, they came across a saint. And saint asked Yashwant, "What do you want?" He said, "I want to walk faster than Yashwant." Saint smiled and replied, "Haven't you heard Adolf Hitler's words? Don't compare yourself with others. It's like hurting yourself, Yashwant, so don't do it again." And Yashwant realized, and the saint gave them a wooden box. This also intimated the boys to open a wooden box when they were in the extreme difficult situation. The situation also came. While climbing down the hill, they were totally collapsed and running out of their energy, and they forced to open the box. There comes some magical words. Let me give you in suspense. I'm not going to reveal that magic words. Then comes the second and third part of that story. The 12th results came for Yashwant and Ganeshan. The same problem faced by every 12 passed out students was that admitting to a college. People gave different opinions, and Yashwant scored 1180 and Ganeshan scored 987. Yashwant was very much interested in becoming a scientist, and Ganeshan aimed to become an IAS officer. Their minds again puzzled as they visited their saint and took a strong decision to stay with their own interest. As they joined college, they came across a lot of people. They saw students came just for obtaining degree, and some consider it as their future life. And they realized an important lesson in their college life: be yourself. And a short story of Ramayana where Hanuman never realized his worth until Jadayu told about his childhood. Further parts of this story quite confused me. The author suggesting us to be a deaf in some places. But why? Everything seems impossible until it's done. As like that, everyone underestimates us until we make it happen. So I just confessed myself I want to be a deaf in many places. They both are so happy and sophisticated with their college life. In the meanwhile, Ganeshan professor asked him to participate in a football tournament. Ganeshan was a boy who doesn't even enter the ground. At that time, his professor gave him a piece of advice from a person's greatest asset was his health. So a sound mind and a sound body. And also Swami Vivekananda's golf playing incident and his famous statement,
பகவத்கீதையை படிப்பதைக் காட்டிலும் கால்பந்து விளையாடுவதன் மூலம் நீங்கள் சொர்க்கத்தின் அருகில் போக முடியும். And it inspired Ganeshan a lot. And he also said that dedication towards your work brings you success, Ganeshan. When Ganeshan entered the ground, there was so much excitement and encouragement from the audience side, which motivated him to hit more goals. After winning the tournament, his professor stated Mary Shakespeare's statement, நீங்கள் கைவிட்டால் தவிர எப்போதும் தோற்பதில்லை. Ganeshan realized when we are so much dedicated and motivated towards a particular work, we will definitely succeed in that work. The next part of the story, drifters making a good friendship. As like George Bernard Shaw, show me your friends, I will tell who you are. And APJ Kalam's 10 steps to shape your life. In the meanwhile, the first semester exams arrived for Ganeshan and Yashwant. The exam fear came across their mind. They seek their school teacher's help, and his teacher said, school life and studies is nothing but asking a question, only why. But the college life is entirely different. When you enter a college life, you should ask, why not? This question creates the scientist and activist. Let me tell you an incident. Isida Isaac Rabi, an scientist. The journalist asked him, who is behind you, Isida? He said firmly that my mother is behind my success. Everyone wondered, as your mother was blind, then how did you say that? He questioned them, what your parents would ask when you return from a school. How was your school, my boy? But my mom would ask, have you asked any relevant question to your subject today? Then he realized the scientists are arrived by asking the question, why not? Then comes many part in the story and gave in the middle a proper explanation to a question, whether college is to gain a knowledge or gain your life partner. Further, many more parts of the story are still pending. I would like to conclude by saying one part, plan your work and work your plan and be the better version of yourself. In the last part, I have read a story, Michelangelo, the world's best sculptor. A person asked him, which is your best sculpture in your life so far, Michael? He smiled and replied, the best sculpture was just what I'm doing now. Everyone shocked. The world's best sculpture, and there was no one to compete with him, but he was still competing with himself. So make the better version of yourself and make a war within yourself. That's it now.
Oh, that's really amazing, Gayatri. The way you narrated it is really fantastic. So I hope remember, like, this is your first narration. So you really did it very well, and I was like sticking to the screen and listening each and every word you are saying. So great story and great narration. So thank you all the narrators and participants to join us here to make this evening so special. So this 1.5 hours went really amazing and really useful for me, and I hope it will be useful for you too. So I guess all the narrators and audience to share your favorite books and the books from you narrated in the book show group, so that every other participants who couldn't join us today can get to know about the book and can read it in future. So I once again thank you all the participants and narrators to make this book show a successful event. And we will be sharing the posts of our like in Instagram and YouTube. The links will be shared in the group. Subscribe and a follow would be heavenly. So thank you so much, everyone. So Kalaivani, you can move forward.
So every one of here, I came across with many contents and stories. I'm fan of it. So because many of here are there, this is their first narration, but it seems like no, it's not even. When it comes to even Tanshika, she is just 12th standard only, but he narrated in a very good way, and it clearly depicts that she understood the book and all the thoughts, and it exactly means that she is very thoughtful in her way, even at this age. So these all people decorated with their talks and thoughts, and it even went interactive also somewhat, and expecting more. And I think we all see again. I think so.
One more thing I would like to share. We would be having a series of events in the upcoming weeks also. So, and we have planned to conduct a book show similar to this one a month or monthly once. So we'll be having other events as well, fun events and technical events as well. So hope to meet you all there also, because we'd like to build a community with you guys, because you are in the initial part of Zero Pro. So we would like to continue our journey with you also. So see you in the upcoming events.
Yes. Thank you all. Thank you all the narrators and audience here. So yes.